Now I am ready to write. Oh, wait. Now I'm ready. Good morning. It is Saturday, April 1st, the first day of Camp NaNoWRIMO. I am just about ready to start writing and to start streaming. I have a Patreon stream that I will be doing first today, which I'm very excited for. And I think the first big question is going to be, what project do I want to work on? Because I will be continuing Project Death through the month. So on the one hand, it's like, that is the most important project. I should work on it. It's also the weekend, usually when I'm just chilling. But it's also the first day of camp. But also, I have this stupid standalone fantasy idea that I need to get out of my head before it just becomes too loud. You know, so I think I mentioned that I would at least let myself outline it. So I think I'm going to allow myself to do that during this first stream. Or at least through the first sprint. I'm excited. Enter studio. All right, that stream was awesome. I got 1,703 words of outlining done. Everything from the first act, and now I'm getting into like the fun and game section of Act 2. I need to figure out, I have the dogs joining me and the cat. I need to figure out some of the trials and some of the fun and games part. But that is for another time. I feel really solid about the first act that I did get done, and what I've set up for the rest of the story. Again, this will be the first time that I've ever actually outlined a fantasy project, like fully outlined it before I get started writing it, now that I have a method that sort of works for me. So it's fun, it's exciting, it's awesome. I feel good about that. But for now, I'm gonna take a little break and I think watch some TV while I like fix some calendars. I also do have one tea left, but the other tea and the coffee done. All right. Oh, I cannot believe I almost forgot. I think that getting through all of Act 1 gets me one word. Was it home? Laptop? Feeling very good about it. Yay. Ah, badges. I got badges. Okay, now I can close this. Hi. You're so cute. Are you doing good? Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, big stretch. I have my cat and one of my dogs. I have a black tea and a different tea. Yeah. And I am about ready to write the death scene. The first time we get to see someone trick death, and I cannot wait. I managed to finish one of the Project Death scenes yesterday, April 2nd. It is April 3rd, and it is finally time to trick death. Now, currently this scene is 995 words. If I had to guess, it will be definitely higher than that. Not sure how much higher, maybe like 1500. It needs to happen really quickly. 12's gonna be confused, but at the same time, I think like with all of this, I just need to add just a little bit, Oh, I'm excited. Honestly, the first thing that has to change is this first line, so. Done. 1348. So this scene I can now turn to aha, the yellow book. It is done. I can minimize these. And then look at this. I only have this chapter left. And this is actually the chapter basically where we return to the house and 12 discovers what the house is in its entirety until like the little twist at the end. But like more or less she's like, oh, y'all trick death, like that's what you do. People can pay or other things can happen. Like this is not just a sort of halfway house for people who are down on their luck / literally because of what the castle is doing. This is a group who's taking things into their own hands. And they're like a weird secret society, but it's kind of not so secret depending on who you are. Anyways, so I'm so excited. This is where we get into the actual apprenticeship. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. And then we're catapulted into the rest of the story. Oh, I can't wait. But yes, that one I have to do. However, with my 430 words total added. Okay, hold one more. Yay! Look at me go. At this rate, I'll be done on May 30th. Almost in time for another camp. I think I'm going to save this scene for tomorrow though, and I actually have to work on some other projects for the day. But first, Escapril. Today's prompt is, ooh, a bit of advice. Okay. Who's it being given to? Who's taking it? Did it really help? When all's said and done, how can you be so sure? Ooh. So yesterday I actually did a haiku at the recommendation of some of my patrons, and that was actually quite fun. I ended up liking the haiku better than the watercolor that I did, and actually the watercolor did not even match up with the haiku. The prompt was eavesdrop, so it was quite fun. I guess I could share that one. Don't mind my pathetic attempt at an ear. In a crowded club, I heard her whisper the truth to an empty glass. Eavesdrop. I think this time though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to brainstorm the bit of advice poem first, and then make my watercolor based off of what I actually come up with, because I think I could have really done like a scene within the watercolor more than just the ear and the earring. So let's see. This is the work I had done to try and come up with. I basically had I heard her whisper and then was like the truth, and then moved around from there. I think I have room to do this on the same page. A bit of advice. I feel like the fun thing about poetry is that it does not have to necessarily follow any kind of like, doesn't matter, there are not necessarily rules, but in that same vein you kind of have to know the rules before you can break the rules. So I'm gonna try and find like some standard structure other than just kind of knowing like some basic rhyme scheme and having like a tempo in my head. The last I remember learning anything about poetry was like when I was in 8th grade. So I need to find like a poetry for dummies. Okay, Penguin books. Teach me. I too am like this child. Very excited to learn. Okay, I did the haiku. Oh, I love that. Italian sonnets in English. Very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try... Maybe I'll try both of these at some point, but I think... Is this less lines? What is less work? Well, let's see. A bit of advice. All right, is it good? No. but we have a poem. I'm actually gonna write it down here first and then watercolor over. We'll find out if this is a mistake. And now to watercolor. I feel like the color of my water, first off, looks very drinkable. Second off, like one of my favorite colors. Like a neon lilac. Hello, Venice. The girls are observing. In lieu of coffee, I'm actually going to go get a different beverage in a little bit as I do the second Wordsworth of work for the day. But I was like, I want to say something, but to quote my Love Island girlies, it's early days. It's early days, babes. It is the third day of Camp NaNo, but I actually think this Wordsworth estimate is actually working really well for my brain because it allows me to do other projects and also really only gives me like 2 things that I have to work toward each day, which is nice. That is a small amount of things. It feels solid, it feels good. Camp NaNo is actually kind of perfectly coinciding with when I already had a bunch of romance stuff slotted out for the next like 3 months. When I first did it, I'd hoped that I was going to be done with Project Death by now. Alas, that's not the case. So basically, I think every day one Wordsworth is going to be Project Death and one's going to be a romance story. Which is fine, because again, I think this is actually going to work out really well. That's what I'm going to work on now. The other thing that I think is working out really well is my really shitty watercolor and really shitty poems to match. There's something really, really fun about not having to be good at a thing, because I enjoy it either way. I'm going to be trying to get better at both of these things, and the plus side of this sort of starting out on something new phase is that you kind of get better sort of exponentially. In the first part, like for people who have been writing novels for a while, you're kind of just incrementally getting better, it feels like, and it can be hard sometimes to like distinguish the progress that you're making. But when you're starting with something that you've never really done before, you can go from 0 to like 10 pretty quick. And then, you know, climb your way up the rest of the way. So it's very rewarding in a different kind of way. There's also no stress and no pressure attached to it, which I think is another big thing that I'm really enjoying. It's just getting to be creative for the sake of the creativity and not that it needs to be anything more than just me having fun and exploring. And that is nice. I think with authortube, we can, something about announcing projects that you're working on is wonderful because it's fun to share and it's fun to be excited with other people who are also excited about their projects. But there's also this pressure with like people being able to ask you how projects that you worked on years ago are doing, which is also nice because usually it's in like a supportive way. And then I enjoyed this and would love to see it in my hands kind of way, but also can be pressure. This, no pressure. Oh, you know, at some point maybe I should try recreating this. That would be quite fun too. I wonder if there's a prompt that matches it. Anyhow, let's go get that drink and let's finish the writing for the day. What do you think, Beth? Oh, and I'm out of water too. Let's fix that. 2,377 of about 6,000 that have been edited. My goal is to edit the whole thing this week, so there's no rush. It's good. Oh, so excited about that. This is the final edit, and so I'm doing like line editing things, and it's just nice when it flows, and I'm like, haha, somehow after the rewrites and the other edits, I have made it exactly what I want it to be. Always a good feeling. But yeah, I have till Friday, so I'm gonna go ahead, you know, 40 minutes later, I'm gonna call it a wrap. But this does mean that I get to update the Camp NaNo website. Or just the Nano website, but my Camp NaNo project. I have said that wrong literally every time. One more. Update progress. Woo! 2 of 2. Done. Ah, I didn't even think about how I could use decimals. That's so funny. That is not my plan, but appreciate that they gave me that option. Now, May 15th. Look at that. Look at that. I think that's going to be it for me and for this vlog. First 3 days of camp in the book. Had a chill weekend. Kept it chill. Very nice. Feel like I'm making good progress. Everything is feeling real rosy right now. If I can maintain that, that is the goal. But please do comment down below. Let me know how these first 3 days of April have gone for you. Let me know if you're trying anything new this camp, whether that is like a new project or a new genre, or even just like a new goal system, kind of like I am. I've already heard from a couple of people that on April 1st, they had a new idea pop into their head, so they're completely pivoting from what they thought. So if that is you, also let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye.